The winters are long in Kiruna, in Sweden's high north. But the workers can't wait till the snow melts. They're already tearing down buildings in the Ulspiran quarter, where mainly families with children once lived. At the fence, Eva and Karl-Johan Mäki watch the demolition machines with mixed feelings. The neighborhood that was their home for decades will soon cease to be.
It's a bit sad. Building something is one thing, but tearing it down is something else again. It feels terrible.
Eva and Karl-Johan came here almost 40 years ago. With temperatures outside reaching below minus 40 degrees Celsius in winter, their apartment often took on the character of a refuge.
For 35 years, it was our castle, our fortress. Our 2 children grew up here.
The ore mine's operator, the state-owned LKAB, has found a new apartment for the couple. The mining town of Kiruna, once the world's largest municipality, has a population of over 23,000. The first houses were built here over a century ago, right on top of some of the world's biggest known iron ore deposits. People here say the mine is Kiruna. Trains, kilometers long, carry the ore over to Narvik, the nearest ice-free port on the Norwegian Sea. What danger the ore mining poses for the town became apparent about 10 years ago when giant cracks appeared in the ground. The decision was made to move the entire town. Urban planner Göran Kasch helped to design the new Kiruna. He's well aware that he and his team are effectively throwing people out of their homes. But he says there was no alternative.
We've chosen to move the city 2.5 kilometers eastwards and build the new one here, because the new districts will be able to incorporate the outlying areas not endangered by the cracks. And we believe this area is safe, so the city won't have to move again.
Kiruna's old wooden church will also have to move. Göran Kasch explains that it's always been the heart of the town, part of the lives of many of its residents.
This church is our most valued structure. It'll have to be dismantled piece by piece and rebuilt. Every single part has to be marked very carefully. That's absolutely vital.
Not far away is another of the town's institutions, but it's doomed to disappear. The Svarta Björn, the Black Bear restaurant. Miners and other townspeople have gotten together here after work for years. Eva Mäki enjoys the hearty cuisine and generous helpings.
This restaurant was here when I first came to Kiruna in 1974. It didn't look exactly like this back then. But I remember we always came here for lunch, or got sandwiches for breakfast here. So the Black Bear is part of Kiruna.
But this is one tradition that may soon come to an end.
This is a working man's diner. I don't know if this kind of place will fit into the planned new city centre. Besides, the rents will be a lot higher there.
Merta Pettersson doesn't know what she'll do once the restaurant's gone, and the wrecking ball won't be long in coming. The colossal project is scheduled for completion in 2033, at a total cost of 320 million euros. That might sound expensive, but it's worth it, because the iron ore still in the ground promises enormous returns for decades to come. Municipal Representative Gunnar Zellberg of the Center Party doesn't agree with the plans to move Kiruna. He says much of the ground set aside for the new town might be contaminated.
There used to be a few factories where they want to build the town, and also a mine with a slurry basin to catch the drainage water pumped out. It might contain heavy metals like arsenic, cobalt, nickel, and other hazardous substances.
Gunnar Zellberg is among the very few who've criticized plans for the move. Most of the residents stand behind it, more or less. Eva and Karl-Johan Mecki have already moved into their new place in a development on the edge of town. It's bigger and not that much more expensive, they say.
We got to say how big an apartment we wanted and where, and the mining company tried to take our wishes into account. It depended on how long you've worked in the mine.
They say it'll take a while to settle into their new home and their new town. It'll help when their neighbors start to move in from the old Kiruna.